Good morning, student. Welcome to Department of Collegiate Education. So, dear student, in previous session, we can discuss critical thinking. What are the critical thinking? How to implement the critical thinking? What are the qualities or what are the skill existing critical thinking? And where do you apply? And what are the questions will arise on the critical thinking? So, in this session, we will discuss increasing vocabulary and body language mannerism. Introduction. A great vocabulary is just one essential tool in a writer's toolbox. Along with functions, grammar, and many others. Vocabulary can make your writing more powerful than more powerful and more effective and help you say exactly what you mean. This indispensable tool with you choose the best word for every joy and avoid vague words that do not give your readers a good sense of your meaning. Meaning of vocabulary. A vocabulary is the all the language and words either used or understanding by the person or group of people. A list of a word and often phases usually arranged alphabetical and defined or translated a lexicon or glossary. A supply of expressive means a repertoire of communication. Repertoire of communication. A list of word and often phrases, phrase, abbreviations, inflectional form, etc. Usually arranged in alphabetical order and defined or otherwise identified as in a dictionary or glossary. An interrelated group of non-verbal symbols, sign, gestures, etc. used for communication or expression in a particular art, skill, etc. Improve your writing vocabulary every day. What are the points or how to improve your writing vocabulary every day? So, following some points. Use new words. Use a word immediately after you learn it. Try to make a game out of using new words as soon as you learn it. Every day, try to slip in a new word into the conversations, journal entry, as assignment or an email to a friend. Do this as often as possible and repeat the word to yourself. Read every day. Once you are out of school, word drills and assigned reading become thing of the past. While these were tools for building your vocabulary repertory while you were young. It does not mean you should abandon reading. Abandon reading. Try to read as well written and edit easily. Magazines, articles, books, or news articles every day. Notification and technical books will be quickly teach you new way to think and speak with word you may be unfamiliar with. Not heard this word, they will familiar with you. You can heard the word in technical and notification books. But any types of reading will help you alone. When you are alone, it is help. Learn roots. Learn the roots of words. Most words in English language are built from a common root, prefix and suffix, usually with an origin in the Greek or Latin language. Once you learn a root, you have begun to understand more words that use the same root. For an example, duck, duc, duck, Latin root word. It is a Latin root word, duc, duck. It means lead or to make. Lead or to make. Such as in the words produce or deduce. Produce or deduce. Next, use treasurers. Thesaurus. Keep a thesaurus handy. As you write, keep a thesaurus handy and use it when you find yourself using a word to happen or using a word that you know does not fit convey the right meaning. This will help you better express yourself and you have also learned a new word in the process. Next, develop practical vocabulary. This means you should start by learning words that express what's important to you for a task at hand. A good example of this learning trade language or words you use often in a hobby or vacations. Rather than immediately turning to clinch or jargon that's toasted around, look for clearer words to express to peers what you are writing about. Learn new words every day. To improve your vocabulary quickly, make an effort to learn at least one new word for every day, a single day. Every single day. You must at least new one word for every day. There are plenty of way to do this. Plenty. Such as the word of the day, calendar or email list, or simply picking a word from a thesaurus or dictionary. Look up word you do not know. How often do you come across the word that are unfamiliar as you read? Do not just gloss over them. Take the time to look them up. And if you do not have the time right, then write them down and look them up later. This is the practice. Keep a journal. Journalizing would not just help you develop your writing style, it will also help you improve your vocabulary. Try to use new or interesting words you have learned recently into a journal entry for the day or the week. Identify empty words. Identify the empty words. You are probably familiar with empty words in your speech, such as ha or whom, but your writing probably has empty word as well. Look for these empty words in your writing that do not offer any substance to your reader and replace them with something more appropriate. The same principle applicable to phrase, phrase and sentence. Phrases and sentence. Same principle applicable. So make sure that you have not used 6 or 7 phrases to say something that could be better communicated in one sentence filled with careful chosen the word. Diversify your reading list. If you tend to read the same sort of this in and day in and day out. If you tend to read the same sort of things day in and day out, you may not be exposing yourself to a wide enough range of vocabulary. Diversify the topic you read to include natural science, Shakespeare's contemporary literature, politics, history, philosophy, or any other topic you think may enjoy. Do word puzzles. Word puzzles in the newspaper or magazine are not just a fun way to fill the time. They are also perfect for boosting your working vocabulary. Not a fun time it is. It is boosting your vocabulary. Crossword puzzles are a challenge that get your brain working hard to search your memory of for words. You do know, but do not use, and this can help you move words from your memory banks into your working set of vocabulary, which will come across in your writing. Try word board games. Try word board games. There are plenty of word games on the market designed to improve vocabulary and language skills without being bored. Some of these games you may have played as a child, so it's time to break them out again and get to work. If you have friends who could also use some help or someone with a great vocabulary you think will challenge you, invite them over for game night. Practice new word in divergent way. It takes between 10 to 20 repetitions to make new word a part of your vocabulary. To help the word settle into your mind and memory, write it down, both the definition and sentence you make use up the word. Use it is conversation and include it in an email or an other way you can think of. Make up associations. Start by saying the new word aloud. Then, then relate it to a word you already know. A good example of this is Grangrenton, Grangrenton, which means very large, or gigantic. Say a sentence aloud: small, medium, large, very large, and gargantuan. Then list things you think are gargantuan. Use use mnemonics. Use mnemonics. Mnemonics techniques or memory tricks you can use to remember new words. You may remember a word by sounding it out and thinking of funny sentence that matches the meaning, such as turning egregious into do not let that smelly rotten egg reach us. Visualize new word. Visualize new words. Research shows that visualization is a great way to remember new words and their meanings. A good example of this is the word stratocolons, which is a high pointed mountain with a violent explosion. One way to remember this means is the fact that the prefix strato sounds like straight ho, which may make you think of a straight rose or a straight o volcano, which describe the word definitions. Make your own vocabulary test. Keep a list of new words you learn each week and incorporate into writing and conversation. At the end of each week, make yourself a quiz using the words to cement them in your memory. Make synonymous word list. Do you find yourself turning to same word again and again in your writing? Grab a piece of paper and write it at the top. Next, brainstorm or use a thesaurus to generate a list of 10 to 20 new words you can use instant. You can keep this list in a vocabulary notebook and add it to them whenever you learn a new synopsis. Take a writing course. Take a writing course. There are plenty of online courses as well as in-person classes you can attend to boost your writing vocabulary and learn how to use new words correctly. Try to find a self-paced course that uses assignments and quizzes to help you increase fluency and brush up on your writing skill. Some classes are aimed at easy essay writing or creative writing. So you can find a classes that will be help you improve the style you need the most help with. Edit your own writing. After you finish writing, be your own editor and go through the piece with a fine two-head combo to identify overused and nondescript word with something more precise or colorful. Editing is an important process for spotting writing errors, but it's also great for improving the tone, style, and clarity of your writing. It might help to read the sentence aloud, then note any lack of precision. Search through your memory for more description word or consult a thesaurus if you needed to. As a replaced word, remember that using a large number of complex words would not necessarily clarify the meaning, and it may just make your writing more pumps, pompous. Ask yourself, do I know a better word to use instead? You may replace use with acquire or obtain or do with perform. Move word from comprehensive to expressive vocabulary. You actually have two types of vocabulary. One is much larger set of the word you understand, even if only vaguely, and the other is smaller set of word you can actually use to express yourself. Moving words from your comprehensive but positive, passive vocabulary to your active, expressive vocabulary is easier than you think. To do this, you have need to know how to define, pronounce, and spell the word. Say them out loud and use them at every opportunity to move them into your active test. Ask for feedback. Do you think your writing could use some help? If you are struggling with your written vocabulary, try asking someone else for help. A second set of eye can offer a great deal of insight and spot problems you may not notice yourself, including poor word choice. Do not be afraid to ask a friend, teacher, co-worker, or someone online to review your writing for feedback on your vocabulary. Carry a dictionary and thesaurus with you. How often do you find yourself with free time, nothing to do? Carry a pocket thesaurus or dictionary with you, and you have find time to beef up your vocabulary while you are waiting for an appointment, commuting to work, or waiting for a bus. Whenever you have a few minutes to spare, read a page or read a page or two and learn a new word to add your writing. It's also great idea to look up obscure words you do not quite grasp that come to you on the fly as you go about your day. You can also use the dictionary or thesaurus to look up unfamiliar word you come across in your daily life. Use college preparation test. College prepare tests that use SAT and ACT type word are great way to take your writing to the next level. This form of advanced study will challenge your mind and give you a new set of words to use that are practical and offer your writing the clearly it needs. You have also get the chance to brush up on the most important Latin and Greek roots and get a new set of words with activities to them, move them into your active vocabulary test. Play games. There are tons of non-board games that will help you improve your writing vocabulary while you have fun. Try downloading fun word games onto your phone or computer so you can get some practice while you unwind after busy day. Some games are designed to build vocabulary skill, but there are plenty of other that will help you practice spelling, phonics, and even typing skill. There are some designed for college students to prepare for test and vocabulary rich exam. Hopefully, this list has given you an excellent place to start to build your vocabulary a bit at a time. If you think about it, there are opportunities all around you to develop this important skill. So spend time every day reading and listening to take in new words and then develop a system to incorporate these new words in your writing and speech. Before long, you have find your vocabulary as grown 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 to a new level and your writing has gained to the clarity you need with an easy with an essay or easy you did not think possible. These are the important vocabularies. Vocabularies improvement. Vocabularies. These are the very important or improve your writing vocabularies. Writing vocabularies. And what are the strategies to improve your vocabulary? There are several proven benefit in improving your vocabulary, but how should we go about learning new words in the most effective way? By using the following 10 vocabulary building strategy, you are guaranteed to develop a strong vocabulary and keep improving it every day. Read voraciously. It's undeniable that reading is the most effective way to get new vocabulary. When you read, you see the word begin used in context, and that's that's make it much more effective than, for example, merely memorizing the word list. With the context information surrounding each new word, there's a good chance you can guess its meaning just by understanding the overall text. Finding out the meaning of words in such a way in the natural way of learning language, and reading provide the best opportunity to get exposed to this natural way of learning. If you are not able to infer the meaning of a new words when reading, it's probable because there are too many unknown words in the text. In that case, try reading easier materials. The key to good reading is making it a pleasurable activity. Do not be afraid of coming across unknown words, but make sure the text is appropriate for your reading level. Make friends with the dictionary. A dictionary is the first indi- indispensable resource to improve your vocabulary. It's only by looking up a word in a dictionary that you will learn its precise meaning, spelling, alternative definition, and find additional useful information about it. A thesaurus is also valuable resources for learning by finding connections between the words, such as their synonyms and autonomous. Consider adding a good dictionary and treasure to your bookshelf. I will give some of the important dictionary website. Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary. Go through the and look that. And the new Oxford American Dictionary and Oxford American Writers Thesaurus. These are the important website of the dictionaries. For online dictionaries, there are many free options with great extra features. Even if you have a good dictionary in print already, you cannot miss having a good online dictionary at your disposal. One look. As I receive the lookup functions and a work as a meta dictionary showing you definition from other major online dictionary. Merriam website's online dictionary, Ninja Words, Think Map Visual Thesaurus, answer.com, dictionary.com, the free dictionary is there for improving your vocabulary. Next, third one, use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. Do not settle after you learn a new word by reading it or looking it up in the dictionary. These are the great stats, but it's by using the new words that you truly commit them to younger long-term memory. Be creative and try to use your newly learned words in as many ways as possible. I'll give you tips. Write them down, say them aloud, create sentence with them mentally or in writing, try to use them in conversation, discuss them with your friends. It's also important to be aware of your own language style. Every time you catch yourself saying common or non-specific word such as nice, try coming up with richer and more precise expression instead. Fourth one, learn one new word a day. Learn one new word a day. If you are learn just one new word every day, you have soon noticed they add up pretty quickly. Many websites provide free word of the day service. Some of the websites are given. Merriam website online word of the day, Word Smart Word Cost, Dictionary Word of the Day. These are the important website. You can search for new word for every day. Next, fifth one, understand the true meaning of the word. By deeply understanding word, you can make your vocabulary grow exponentially. Instead of just memorizing word, try to really understand them by looking at their etymology, word roots, pre- prefixes, and suffixes. At the least of the English, at least half of English word are derived from the Greek and Latin roots. So enormous benefit come from being familiar with them. Just to pick an example, when you understand the prefix ortho, ORTHO, ortho means straight or right, you start to find connection between seemingly unrelated words such as orthodal, orthodontist, a specialist who strengthen teeth, orthodontist, orthodontist means teeth, specialist who straight straight teeth, and orthography, the correct or straight way of writing, orthography. Understanding the logic behind the word always pay off in the term of learning and recalling. Considering the examples, breakfast meaning interrupt the night's fast, or rainbow meaning bow or arc caused by rain, while this meaning may be travel to native English speakers. Having such insights about word, foreign or otherwise, never fails to deepen your connection to them. Next, maintain a personal lexicon. By keeping a personalized list of the learned words, you will have a handy reference. You can use it review this word later. It's very likely you have would not to go back and refresh your memory on recent word. So keeping them in your own list is much more effective than going back to the dictionary every time. Even if you never refer back to your lexicon again, writing the word down at least once will greatly enhance your ability to commitment them to your permanent memory. Another excellent learning aid is to write an original sentence containing the word, and using your lexicon to do that is a great way of enforcing this habit. You can also add many other details as you see fit, such as the date you first come across the word, or maybe a sequential number to help you reach some word quota you defined. There are many ways you can keep your personal word list. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages. So make sure to pick the format that works best for you. You may prefer to keep it as a simple text file in the computer, or in a regular paper notebook, or maybe as a flashcard in a shoebox. One option is a computer spreadsheet for its handy features such as search, sorting, and filtering. 7. Follow a process. To make vocabulary improvement a permanent habit in your everyday life, you should make it as habitually automatic and tightly integrated in your daily workflow as possible. Otherwise, you would not do it when your days get too busy. In that regards, one particular useful concept is the one maintaining a word inbox. By having predefined, predefined place you use to capture the word you come across, you can process them much more efficient. Your process can be as simple as you wish. The key is to define its beforehand and then follow it by knowing exactly how and how often to process your inbox. You stay on top of your vocabulary improvement process even when there are other pressing matters crying out for your attention. Next, eighth one, play and have fun. Playing games and engaging in group activities are useful in any kind of learning, but particularly effective for language related learning. Gather your family and friends and play word games together. Some interesting option are Qualter, as well as the classical Scribble and Bongle. If you would not want to spend money on boxed game, it is easy to come up with your own word activities. You may, for example, try your own variation of word evening at a specific day of each week. A different person bring a new word to the meal. The person read the word, define it, and the other must come up with sentence using the word. If you do not have time to do time or do not want to engage in the group activities, there are numerous options of word games in the internet. You can either play them when you are bored, integrated them in your daily routine, such as playing a quick game after lunch, for example, considering the following recommendation. So I give the some example or also game Merriam Webster's daily word game, one of the important website. Merriam websites websiter daily crosswords and word game on Yahoo Games. These are the important games you can search through the internet or go through the web. So more and more you can play games and improve your vocabularies. Leverage every resources you can. The internet is a gold mine of resources for vocabulary buildings. Here are a few to get you started, though many more exist. There are plenty of vocabulary in application you can try. There are many vocabulary related books you can explore. There is a wealth of free literature on sites such as Project Gutenberg. If you use the Firefox browser, there are many ways to integrated dictionary lookup functions such as the plugin answers.com and dictionary search. We can find specialized vocabulary list such as these feeling words or descriptive words. You can even learn some classy Shakespearean insult. The point is that you are only limited by your willingness to learn. Let curiosity be your guide and you will never run out of resources to learn from. Last point, discovery. Diversify. Do something different from your daily routine, hunting, fishing, or blogging. Any activity that is not a part of your normal life can become a great way to learn new words. As every niche has its own jargon and unique way of communicating, read different books and magazines than the ones and once you are used to watch foreign language movies. You can see the English movie. Take up new habits, hang out with the different peoples. Body language. You already learned body language, I think, in a second session. Put simply, body language is the unspoken element of communication that we use to reveal our true feeling and emotions. It's the relaxed facial expression that breaks out into genuine smile with mouth upturned and high wrinkled. It can be a tilt of the head that show you are listening, sitting or standing upright to convey interest, or directing attention with hand gestures. It can also be taking care to avoid a defensive arm crossed postures or restlessly tapping your feet. When you can read sign like this, you can understand complete message of what someone is telling you. You will be more aware of people's reaction to what you say and do, and you will able to adjust your body language to appear more positive, engaging, and approachable. The science of body language. You have probably heard the statistic that only 7% of message is conveyed through the word and the other 93% come from the non-vocabulary communication. This is keep in your mind. It's taken from Meharbergen's communication models, which also state that body language is more important than tone of voice and choice of word when communicating true feelings. But Meharbian make clear that his study dealt only with communication involving feeling and attitudes. So it is not applicable in all cases. However, it does help to explain why it's so thought to gang sentiment when we cannot see people on email or messaging app, for example. Body language examples from difficult conversation. Difficult conversation are an unforgettable fact of life. Perhaps you are dealing with rude customer, giving an employee negative feedback, or negotiating a contract. Situations like these are often complicated by feeling of nervousness, stress, or even anger. And though we many try to hide them, these emotions often show through in our body language. If someone is exhibiting one or more following behaviors, they will likely be disengaged, disinterested, or unhappy. Arms folded in front of the body, arm folded in the front of the body in this way. Minimal or tense facing expression in this way, expressing something is going on. Body turned away from you, body turned from away in this way. Eye downcast, maintaining the little contact this way. Something happened. The body language as a bored audience when delivering a presentation or collaborating in a group, you want to the people around you to be fully engaged. Here are some clear indicators that they may be bored by what you are saying. Sitting slamped with head downcast. Slamped with downcast. Something is there. Gazing at something else or into space. Fidgeting, picking at cloths or fiddling with pens and poems. Just you can not interested, you can, or you can take pen, write when the class are going on or the functions are going on, but you can just do it this way, not showing not interested, writing or dawdling. A body language for a good first impression. It is a good first impression body language. There are several steps or tips can help you adjust your body language so that you make a great first impression. First, have an open postures. Be relaxed. Be relaxed. But do not slouch. Sit or stand upright and place of your hands by your side. Avoid standing with your hands on your hips as this can communicate aggression or desire to dominate. Use a firm handshake. You can study the how many types of the handshake, under which you can use firm handshake. But do not get carried away. You do not want it to become a awkward, aggressive or painful for the other person. Maintaining good eye contact. Try to hold the other person gaze for new seconds at a time. This will show them that you are sincere and engaged, but avoid turning it into starting contest. Avoid touching your face. If you do while answering questions, it can be seen as a sign of dishonesty. Touching your face. While this is not always the case, you should still avoid fiddling with your hair or scratching your nose so that you convey the truthful worthiness. So that fiddling with hair, so in this way or in this way, don't do this. Avoid touching your face entirely. Body language example for effective public speaking. A positive body language can help you engage people, mask any presentation nerves and project confidence. When you speak in the public, here are a few tips to you help you do this. Have a positive posture. Sit or stand upright. with your shoulders back and your arms unfolded by your sides or in front of you. Do not be tempted to put your hands in your pockets. You can just will think they can put your pants untempted, or to slouch, as this will make you look disinterested. Keep your head up. Your head should be upright and level. Lean enough too far forward or backward can make you look aggressive or arrogant. Practice and perfect your posture. Stand in the relaxed manner with your weight evenly distributed. Keep one foot slight in front of others to help hold your posture. Use open hand gestures. Guess open hand gestures. You can this way, can show. Spread your hands apart in front of you with your palms facing straightly towards your audience. This indicates willingness to communicate and share idea. Keep your upper arms close to your body. Take care to avoid over expression, or people may focus more on your hands than your ideas. 8 elements of confident body language. Power force. Why power force? How? Let's discuss one by one. What already discussed in the previous session 2. Power pose. I, why confidential power pose body language? In 2011, US social psychologist Aram Kundi, Dan Curry and Andy Ya proposed of holding a powerful pose resulted in people actually feeling more powerful. Their theory suggests that an open pose can raise testosterone level and lower your cortisol level, that is increase your domains and lower your stress. If you have confident body language and pretend you feel powerful, you are more likely to actually feel it. And who does not want to feel powerful on stage? How? Stand straight with your shoulders back and fet shoulders width apart. Imagine your shoulders open up from one another so that they rest centrally. Place your hands either side of your body so that you can easily make hand gesture when you need it. Face the audience as much as possible. If you are in a large room, little your whole body towards different part of the audience so everyone feel included. Eye contact. Why eye contact is confidence body language? Making eye contact with your audience build a connection between you and them, and they feel more valuable by you. This make an audience more likely to respect and listen to you because they feel important. It also make the audience you more because people tend to avoid eye contact when they are lying. Confident body language can also use to feedback loop. Making eye contact is easiest way to receive feedback from the audience about your speech. You can see your audience are listening and reading their facial expression to see if they are interested. bored, anger, happy, and so on. You can then alter your speech according to based on feedback you. Without making eye contact, you could not go through your whole speech irritating the audience. How? When you're talking a large number of people, maintain eye contact with one audience member for for more or for 4 or more seconds before moving to another member of the audience for 4 seconds and so on. Make eye contact in a Z formation. In a Z formation. Look at one person at the back left corner of the room and then back right, then to front left and finally to someone at the front right. Be carefully not to just repeat the Z formation with the same audience member each time you do it. You want to connect with as many members of audience as possible. In one on one setting, maintaining eye contact for 9 to 10 seconds and then break away to save yourself from coming across as intense or like you are starting. Hand gesture. Why hand gesture? Pause confident body language. When used correctly, hand and arm gesture can help enhance your message and make you some more confident and relaxed. Gestures amplify your stories and will help you come across as more genuine and believable. They are essential element of our non-verbal communication is showing others how we feel and in turn how we make them feel. Hand gesture are one of the most clear non-verbal way we communicate confident body language or nervous body language and your audience will react more positively to farmer. How? How these hand gesture help for confident? Think of your hand gesture as storytelling tool. Put verbs into action by acting them out with your hands. Do not overdo. If you overdo, you are a duper. Do not overdo it. Gesture sprinkly and focus on action word. Make your gesture strong and defined. Being in an neutral position with your hands either side of your body so that your hand gesture flows smoothly. Use symbolic gesture to communicate number of position. Example, two fingers for the number 2 or raised hand for stop. Use descriptive gesture to communicate movements such as shapes, size, length. Use emotional gesture to communicate the feeling. Hand claps together to show pledging. Hand raised either side for your head show disappear. When using visual head, point and turn slightly to look the relevant data and the audience will automatically follow your hands and eyes. Vary your gesture with different part of your body. You do not have to just use your arms, you could use your legs, facial expression and full body movements as gesture too. Movements. Why? Movements is required for confident body language. Moving around the stage is a great way of showing your audience you are confident in what you are saying and including everyone in the conversation. Commanding the space around you show strong leadership and after all when you are presenting you are the leader. When you have confident body language You will be more dynamic and interesting to listen to, and your audience will not only be more engaged, but they will have more trust in your message too. How it possible? How can you made it? Do not face around the stage every 30 seconds. This is distracting to your audience. Wait at least 3 minutes before moving to another area of the stage. 3 minutes you can keep it. Time your movements on stage with a change in topic. This is a way of physical marking the transmission. Move towards the audience when asking question or making an important point. When you are walking to another side of the stage, try to avoid turning back to any area of the audience, as this disconnected them and can come across as rude. Avoid swaying or rocking on the spot. Either walk to another area of the stage or do not move your entire body at all. Expressions. The people depends on the facial expression to interrupted motivative motives and emotions, so audience will respond better to you if you are expressive. This is a bit lesson acting. You want to emphasize your expression so that everyone in the audience can interpret meaning from them. You could film yourself speaking and identify artificial or unfriendly facial expression you make when telling a story and replacing them with more genuine, believable expression. Try to practice to speaking with your face to show happiness, sadness, anger and surprise. You your face should be reflect the emotion with your stories. How can express when you're trying to show shock or confusion? Raise your eyebrow. If you are conveying anger or concern, frown. When you are happy in your story, simply smile. For sad moment, frown a little and slide little the side for your lips downwards. Mannerism. The mannerism are the nerves habit most people have that detract from your message and can make a audience feel uncomfortable. They are keep to confident body language. Common habit you have that you might not be aware of or fiddling with your hair or shoot. Putting your hands in your pocket and expressly using filler words such as so and like. How can you use to break these habits? Film yourself speaking and become aware of them. You could ask trust friend to tell you if you have any. Once you have acknowledged your nervous habit, work in your everyday conversation to break them. If you can break them on the small scale, you will like find the disappear in front of longer audience too. Breathing. Even though your audience cannot see your breath, it is a significant factor in protopying confident body language. Maintaining a slow, steady breath can reduce your stress level and make you less likely to relevant to nervous habit. Bad posture, bad postures and excessive movement, relaxed and deep breath also ensure that you are speaking at the right pace and your voice can be projected across the room, which in its will make you feel and sound more confident. How it can be possible? Before you present speak in the public, do some breathing exercise to warm up your voice and fill your lungs. Slowly inhale for 3 seconds and exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat this often as you need it in order to feel calm. Always make sure you are standing up straight so that your lungs can expand fully. Last point, voice. Your vocal expression is physical, and so your body language has an effect on your voice and can enhance or detract from the message of your speech. Albert Meharbian wrote extensively on the relative importance of verbal and non-verbal message, and his finding has been quoted here as 7% of meaning, and that our word conveys 7% of meaning, our tone 38%, and our body language make 55% that audience will remember. This is given the statistics of the Albert Meharbian. When you can combine these three elements, your audience will be more engaged and connected with you. So do not forget that your body language should always enhance your voice and emphasize your message. How it can be implemented? How can important? How can you implement in? Imagine you have stirring on the crown of your head that is being gently filled. This will help elongate your spine, maximize your rib cage, and allow more air to inflate your lungs and support your vocal expression. Watch video of watch video of watch videos of good and bad speeches to see how their words are in tune with their body language or how they are not. Practice varying your speech. You can do this with the virtual speech app that you can gain access to when purchasing the essential public speaking course. Most of our body language and movements is subconscious, so it can be difficult to retrain ourselves away from habit we have had for years. However, to master the art of public speaking, you must also master your body language too. Of course, you do not want to distract yourself from your speech by consciously thinking how you are standing, where you are looking, and if you are breathing correctly. So, as with any other skill, regularly practice is the secret to success and the quickest route to confident body language. You could practice the technique above in your day to day life so that they become deep rooted habit, and then you want to be how to consciously think about doing them when you are on the stage. Mannerism. What is mannerism? A good manner are important element of communicating effectively. They are important to everyday interaction as well as maintaining positive work environment. In an article from Northeastern University, when it comes to work in an office or other professional setting, equitate matters. How you present yourself and interact with those around you, whether your co-workers, supervisor, or direct reporters, speak to who you are as a person and as a member of the team, and can directly influence the trajectory of your career. Using good manners puts other before you said is a sign of respect and courtesy. Equate implies polite behavior and can help build relation with people. Whether it is applied in the workplace or at the social gathering. As some work environments move towards more informal workspace and open space and good manners become more important to build teamwork and positive communication among us co-workers. Here are some tips to make conversation using good communication manner. Make please and thank you part of your daily conversation. This is a tips mechanism. When you someone say thank you, say you are welcome in response. Avoid awkward words such as, who, haha, nam, and yeah. Instead, push and think before speaking. Keep your tone of voice pleasant. Take care with friendly put down that actually tend to hurt and are not really funny like you intend. That is, shut up or so what. Break the ice by asking questions such as where are you from or what are your habits? What are your habits? Take turns talking and avoid telling a long stories or sharing too many details. If you are on the cell phone in a public place, find a quiet place you can continue the conversation or keep your voice down so that the entire area does not have to hear your conversation. When leaving the message on answering machine or voicemail, speak clearly. Always indicate your name, who you are calling for, and why you are calling. Next point, be a good listener by nod by nodding your head and making eye contact. Comment on what the other person has said. Do not interrupt while someone else is talking. Depending on the generation you are communicating with, considering not emailing, texting, or talking on electronic device while conversing with someone. For many, this is interpreted as desirable. Putting these tips into practice will enhance a new conversation and strengthen relationship with your friends and your co-workers and also your teachers. Earning the right equities. Equities. Every person want to leave the positive impression on the people they meet, and this is when equities come to play. Etiquettes are norms which a person follow to make their interaction with people likable. So here a few tips on making your interaction even more positive by learning and following the right equities. First one, body language. When you meet a person for first time, your body language leaves a lasting impact in their mind about your personality. So carrying yourself in a pleasing way is very essential. Watch out for the way you sit and stand before them, and always wear a smile on your face. Greeting. A greeting play a significant role in how people perceive you as a person. Wishing someone good day gives them a positive feeling about you. Offering a seat. Your meeting with person may last long or end on short note. It is important to make good impression right at the beginning. This could be done by offering seat first after having greet him or her. Offering a glass of water. If a person visiting your home or office, it is important that you offer them a glass of water. If the person have visited your place for the first time, it is natural for them to feel hesitant to ask for water. So it is a part of good equitators to make them feel comfortable. No unwanted attention. Attending to other tasks while interacting with someone can be treated as highly insulting. Multitasking could be fine sometime, but try to avoid it while in an discussion. Do not jump conversation. While you are trying to resolve an issue with someone, make sure that you do not quite doing so in the middle. Understand? Make sure that do not quit doing so in the middle. That is until you have come to favorable conclusion. Take follow up till the problem is completed resolved. Do not lose temper. When you are in argument, understanding that the other person also deserve that same amount of explanation as you do. Do not just end the issue by simply saying no. You must support your statement with an explanation. Listening. When you are interacting with a person, your listening skill are being tested. Listening to what the other person has to say is very important. Pay heed to them without any interruptions. Okay, thank you very much, student. I will hope you are better understand about improve your vocabularies and body languages. Okay, thank you.